This is an Audio-Technica stereo cartridge that I got in an auction, along with all sorts of odd bits and parts for stereo equipment. And I later found a piece of paper in with all this equipment, and it was from the same guy that I bought all sorts of equipment from a few years ago. And this was just at an auction, so somebody must have picked that up at his estate sale and later didn't know what to do with it, so they put it at auction. I got all of it for $35, and I've sold hundreds of dollars worth of parts from it. But this little cartridge came with its own head shell, sold for $300. I priced it at $300 and just sat on it since I believe it was early summer last year. Finally sold. These are always nice to find. This is a Sony Mega Storage CD player. Holds 300 CDs, and usually you find these between $20 and $40, and they bring pretty good money if they're working. This one I found at an estate sale last Saturday, $35. While I was there, I plugged it in, and everything seemed to work fine on it, although I couldn't listen to the audio function of it. But for that kind of money, I took a chance on it. And when I got it home, tested it out, made a little video. Everything worked great on it, and it sold for $280. This is a rear view mirror I found at a garage sale for 50 cents a couple of years ago. There's no identifying numbers, part numbers or anything. It just says made in Canada. Typical windshield mount, could be used on all sorts of different vehicles. I think all three of the major automakers had part suppliers in Canada back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And I've had it up for sale for quite a while. And it finally sold for $15. This is a model car that is not a remote control car or plastic model of any sort. It's a tape rewinder. I used to sell these tape rewinders all the time, but lately they don't sell at all. I guess I've flooded the market. But when I find unique ones, like automobile-shaped ones, I'll pick them up. They're just a couple dollars, and that's what this one cost, and it sold for $20. This is a multi-tape deck junction box. It's got patch cables, and I found this at the auction that I go to a couple weeks ago, where I bought that big stereo. And I remember everybody looking in the box at this and just shaking their head, what the heck is this? Not that I have extreme knowledge over what you would use this for, other than patching together a number of tape decks to make recordings. But I got it for $2, and I bought it last night for $60. And then I see I have an offer from the same guy for the big Sansui amp that I got at that auction as well, that previously sold but was returned because it didn't fit in his system. And the offer I got on this amp was $1,250, which is $50 more than I sold it for the first time. And since I had a 20% restocking fee, I've already made $240 on that sale. And now it's sold again for $1,250. It's going to the second president of the United States, who apparently retired in Virginia. This is a box of Napa Valley CD crates. I got busy packing them while listening to the podcast. It's Monday morning, and forgot to video them before I packaged up these crates. You're probably familiar with these. These were at an estate sale last week. I got all 4 of them for $5, and they sold for $60. Vintage Hot Wheels sets are always just a no-brainer to pick up, because people collect these like crazy. And this isn't even really that old. This is from the early 80s, the Dash and Crash. It's fairly complete. It's got a nice box, and the original box is always an added advantage when you're selling these, because lots of the people selling them don't have the box. So they did a little artistic coloring in, and this sold for $90. It's a auction box lot extra item. It's a Monkey Island bear. It must have been some sort of Shell Oil promotional thing. It looked brand new in the box, so I thought, well, I'm going to list it. Normally this would be a donated item. I don't have much interest in them, in selling them, and completely forgot about it. Probably 2 years listed. Finally sold for $25. This is a vintage Texas Instruments calculator. It's a TI 2500. Normally these can go for $75, $100, but this one had a little bit of an issue on the display, and I ended up selling it for just $20. It was like $3 at a garage sale, so still a good profit. I haven't been videotaping the cassette sales recently. This one, sort of a failed experiment. It's just a single Sony UX90. I have a few of these, and I put this up a couple years ago for $7. It's taken quite a while to sell, but not bad. I don't have any money into it. I found this amateur rendition of The Scream by Edward Munch at a garage sale here in Sioux Falls. I bought it from the artist, a young Mid-Eastern gentleman. It's on, if you can tell, really thin tissue-like paper. And obviously a amateur job in a nice frame. I hung it in my bathroom for a while and would tell people that's the face of the next person to use the bathroom after you. But I've had it for a couple of years, and it finally sold for $80, and it's going to Denmark.
Another one of these little matchbox type die-cast cars sold. This is a Mustang 2. Made it look like a special edition Munro handler. Little doors open, kind of cool. But very small. It's still sold for $10.
Slippery, huh, boo? Ready to go in, Midge? Come on, Midge. Come. Oh, no. Put it down.